President Erickson, Mr. William W. Mulvey. And on my right, reporter and newscaster for WABC TV Channel 7, Mr. Bill Butel. Vice President of Lennon and Newell, distinguished guests. It will be impossible to attempt a formal introduction of our speaker today. For one thing, he is too much of a professional in television. Not only is he well known to us, we and our problems are equally well known to him. As U.S. Attorney General, his qualities of determination, courage, and persuasiveness became nationally known, especially in the fields of organized crime and the fields of civil rights. These same qualities were also evident during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and more important, his was a sane voice in those perilous times. A father of 9 who was against proliferation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege to present United States Senator from New York, the Honorable Robert F. Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Feniger, Tom McDermott, distinguished guests at the head table, Frank Morrissey, wherever you are, and ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you of the International Radio and Television Society. In meetings of this kind, as in all of your work, you are meeting the highest responsibility. The responsibility to be concerned, to be informed, to take an active part in the formation of national policy. Pericles said of the citizens of Athens, "We are a free people, but we obey the law." We differ from other people in that we regard an individual who holds himself aloof from public affairs as being useless, and yet we yield to no one in our independence of spirit and complete self-reliance. That tradition you fulfill in your professional activity every day. The service that you do your country, however, is more than being true to an ancient ideal. It is a creative action in full participation in our national effort to move this nation and other nations toward a decent and just world order. For in a world made small by the wonders of science, our own security and future of our own children can be maintained only, as President Kennedy said, if the strong are just and the weak secure and the peace preserved. To build such a world order, much will be required of us and of men of goodwill everywhere in the world. We must realize that the world is in the midst of a revolution, that around the globe, from the Straits of Magellan to the Straits of Malacca, from the Nile Delta to the Amazon Basin, in Jaipur and Johannesburg, the dispossessed people of the world are demanding their place in the sun. For uncounted centuries, they have lived with hardship, with hunger, and with disease, and with fear. For the last 4 centuries, they have lived under the political, economic, and military domination of the West. We have shown them that a better life is possible. We have not done enough to make it a reality. So the revolution is now in progress. It is a revolution for individual dignity in societies where the individual has been submerged in a desperate mass. It is a revolution for self-sufficiency in societies which have been forced to rely on more fortunate nations for their manufactured goods, for their education, for their cotton textiles, for their calculus texts. It is a revolution to bring hope to their children in societies where 40% of the children die before they reach the age of 5. This revolution is directed against us, against the 1/3 of the world that diets while the others starve, against a nation that buys 8 million new cars while most of the world goes without shoes, against developed nations which spend over $100 billion on armaments, while the poor countries cannot obtain $10 to $15 billion of investment capital they need just to keep up with expanding populations. And in a world already in ferment and disaster in the form of mass starvation has now become a very real possibility. Widespread starvation tragically becomes a more serious threat with each passing day. Just this week, in a